Building an agent is surprisingly easy now. You connect an LLM to a few tools, give it access to files or APIs, and suddenly it can investigate an issue, refactor code, or spend hours working through a research task. But can you still control what it does? There is a real difference between using an agent and deploying one as a service. With something like Cloud Cowork or ChatGPT's agent mode, you are using an agent. You hand it a task, and you are still the one driving it. Deploying an agent is different. It runs as a service. Other people or other systems depend on it, and nobody is watching every step it takes. That is a much harder problem, and it's the one every major cloud provider is racing to solve right now. Google, AWS, Microsoft, Salesforce, and others are all trying to crack it. Because building the agent is no longer the hardest part. The hard part is trusting it, giving that agent real access without letting it break something important. That is what I wanted to test using Google Cloud's Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform. My agent worked perfectly well on my laptop. But the moment I tried to deploy it like a real enterprise system, 4 problems appeared almost immediately. It had no clear identity. There was no real audit trail. It was totally vulnerable to prompt injection. And it forgot everything between sessions. So in this video, we are going to fix all 4. This video is sponsored by Google Cloud, and by the end, you can clone the complete working project from the GitHub repository link below. Let's get started. Google Cloud is a large collection of services for building and running software. Compute Engine gives you virtual machines. GKE helps you run applications using Kubernetes. Cloud Storage is where you keep files and data, and BigQuery is used to analyze very large datasets. On the AI side, Google's models are called Gemini. Google also provides tools for building agents around those models. Many of those tools originally lived inside Vertex AI. Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform launched in April 2026 as an evolution of Vertex AI. So you will still see older Vertex AI names showing up in some documentation, APIs, and code samples. That's the platform we are focusing on today. Now, this is different from Google AI Studio. AI Studio is mainly for quick experiments, testing models, trying prompts, building an early prototype. But when you want to turn that prototype into something a real company can use, you need access controls, audit logs, CI/CD, and monitoring. And that is where the Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform comes in. So from this point on, when I say Agent Platform, I mean the Enterprise Platform, not the AI Studio. Alright, for this build, I'm making a single-purpose user support agent. It needs to do 4 things. Read an incoming ticket, search our internal docs, query the application logs, and write up an incident summary. 4 tools, 1 goal, specific enough to actually break in the ways we care about. Alright, enough context, let's build the agent. For this build, I'm making a single-purpose customer support agent. It needs to do 4 things. Read an incoming ticket, search our internal docs, query the application logs, and write up an incident summary. 4 tools, 1 goal, specific enough to actually break in the ways we care about. Now Google ships something called Agents CLI. And it's not a tool for me, it's a tool for my coding agent. One setup command teaches anti-gravity, Cloud Code, or whatever coding agent you use, how to scaffold, evaluate, and deploy agents on Google Cloud. I don't memorize commands, I just describe the intent. So I tell my coding agent what I want. A support agent with 4 tools that reads the ticket, searches our internal docs, checks the logs, and writes an incident summary. It scaffolds the project and writes the 4 tool functions. It is still code first under the hood, but my job just moved up a level. I review the code. I don't hand type the boilerplate. And I am running this on Gemini Flash, since the agent is making a lot of quick tool calls back to back, and latency matters more here than deep reasoning. Then I ask it to run the agent on a real ticket. It reads the ticket, pulls the right runbook, checks the logs, and writes a summary. And notice it cites the runbook it used by title. Works exactly like it should before it's touched a single piece of Google Cloud infrastructure. But works while I watched it is not the same as works. Before this agent goes anywhere near production, we evaluate it. And I want to show you why. Because I planted a bug in this agent on purpose. 1 sentence in its instructions. If you already know the answer to a simple question, you can skip the document lookup. Sounds like a harmless optimization, right? It's actually the most dangerous class of bug in retrieval systems. And here is why. The eval suite doesn't grade with a single score. A score would hide this completely. Every test case gets 1 of 4 verdicts. Grounded answer means the agent answered, and every claim came from our documents. Correct abstention means the docs didn't cover it, and the agent honestly said so. Ungrounded answer means it answered without checking the docs at all. And mixed leakage is the dangerous one. Here, the agent found the right document, cited it properly, and most of the answer is genuinely from that document. But hidden inside is one sentence the agent wrote on its own, something the document never mentions. Now let's run the evals with the bug still in the agent. And see this. Someone asked our support agent the capital of Australia, and it answered Canberra, with full confidence. But nowhere in our documents is this written. It answered from its own memory. Today, it's a harmless trivia question. Tomorrow, it will be an SLA promise we never made to a customer. Now remove that one buggy sentence. Make retrieval compulsory for every question, even the simple ones. Run the same evals again. This time, every answer is either backed by a document or the agent honestly says, this is not covered in our runbooks. And this is the value of an eval suite. Looking at the output, you could never tell there was a bug. The eval caught it. Once the evals came back clean, I asked my coding agent to deploy it to Agent Runtime, which is Google's managed environment for running agents in production. And it's live. The agents deployed to Agent Runtime, out of my terminal into a real managed environment. Now let's run the same test I did locally. Write in Agent Runtime's playground, TCK 1001. Watch the same 4 tool calls fired in order: read ticket, search docs, query logs, write summary. Except this time, it's not running on my laptop, it's running on Google's infrastructure. And same incident summary comes back. Root cause, resolution, timestamp. It handles auto-scaling, and with the right configuration, cold starts. The time it takes a fresh instance to spin up and respond to the first request can happen in under a second. It also supports long-running operations for up to 7 days, so the process can keep running instead of being forced into a short request window. And that matters for an agent doing a multi-day research task or investigation. And this is where the demo ended and the production problem started. Problem 1, no identity. The agent could call its tool fine. What it couldn't do was prove which agent was making those calls. Locally, that's irrelevant. In production, it's a real problem. Agent identity fixes this. When you enable it at deployment, the agent gets its own cryptographic identity based on the SPI FFE standard instead of being an anonymous piece of code making calls on your systems. This works with an auth manager behind the scenes, so each access token is short-lived, scoped, and secure. So I don't have to worry about my secrets getting leaked. Problem 2 was no audit trail. An identity tells you who acted. It doesn't tell you how the run unfolded, which model and tool calls happened, how long each step took, or where something failed. For that, we enable tracing, configuring the agent to send OpenTelemetry data into CloudTrace. Now every run becomes a timeline, combined with identity that gives us both sides of the story, which agent made the request, and exactly what happened during that run. Next, we handed the agent a support ticket containing a hidden instruction telling it to send internal data to an outside address, the kind of attack a real support agent could run into. Without protection, the ticket content became part of the prompt, and the agent treated the hidden instruction like part of its actual task. So we routed the traffic through Agent Gateway to control network access and add policies. And we configured Model Armor to block prompt injection and sensitive data leakage, not just log it. With that in place, the same hidden instruction is detected and blocked before the agent can act on it. If something got through Model Armor, least privileged network access is still controlled via Agent Gateway. And problem 4 is no memory across sessions. If you close the session and by default the agent forgets everything, no memory of user preferences, no memory of the project, nothing carried forward. Memory Bank fixes this. It generates and stores long-term memories from past conversations so the agent doesn't start from zero every time a new session opens. And it also costs less than just running your own database, let alone the intelligence baked into it. Once the agent was live on Agent Runtime, it turned out to already be set up in Agent Registry automatically. That part happens on its own, but an automatic entry with a blank description isn't very useful during a security review. So we added a clear description and verified its version, runtime, and endpoint. Now the agent shows up as something a real team can discover and govern, not just another deployment hidden inside a cloud project. Now there are a couple of things you need to know before you commit, because the cost model changes once you move from prototyping to production. So prototype first, then move to production deployment only when the agent is worth running. And because this platform only evolved from Vertex AI in April 2026, a lot of documentation online and even some of Google's own docs still reference the old Vertex AI names. One more thing worth knowing, you are not locked into a single model. Through Model Garden, the platform gives you access to Gemini models like Pro, Flash, and Flashlight, a curated list of the best open models like Gemma or Kimi, and partner models like Anthropic's Cloud. The model you pick changes the experience. Thinking gives you stronger reasoning on complex tasks, but it adds latency and cost. That is a fine trade-off for a background research agent, but it may be the wrong one for a real-time support chat like ours, where a faster Flash or Flashlight model usually feels more responsive. And identity, a traced audit trail, protection against prompt injection, memory that stays across sessions, and a governed inventory through agent registry. That's the difference between an agent that works in a demo and an agent a company can actually govern. The whole project is in the GitHub repo linked below, the agent scaffold, the evals, the deployment, and the registry configuration. Clone it and build the same thing yourself.